So okay, it's recording. Um, all right. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole Ratliff, and I'm from the United States, but I'm currently living in Medellin, Colombia. You can find me at our channel at Mixed Trio Travels.
Cool. Hi, everybody. My name's Chanel. I am single mom, world traveler as well. And me and Nicole connected on Facebook and thought it'd be really fun to do like a joint interview, talking about our experiences together. I've been traveling the world since last year with my daughter, and my channel is Chanel Morales, the digital nomad mom. So the first question I wanted to ask Nicole was, what inspired you to start traveling?
Sure. So I'm an Army brat. My mom was in the military. So I grew up into a world of traveling. Every 2 to 3 years, I would pick up and move to a new place. And I think that inspired my nomadic spirit. So I decided to do that, start doing that with my kids, just to get out of the United States and for my kids to see the world and experience new things, just to get out of that bubble in the United States.
Nice. Yeah. So I did actually travel when I was younger as well. Like, I lived in Australia with my mum, and we went to Peru in America from a young age. So I think I probably have a bit of that as well. But also for me, when I started running a business from home that was from my laptop, I realized that I didn't actually need to be freezing cold in England, paying extortionate bills with my gas heating on full. And I could actually just do what I was doing on the beach. And obviously I follow a lot of other digital nomads and other traveling families, and I saw them doing it. And I just thought, well, if they can do it, so can I. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened for me.
Yeah, I understand about the bills. That's wanted to get away from that too.
America's extortionate as well. I mean, even more expensive than England.
Yes, it is. We have gas and electricity for heating, so it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So, do you travel full-time or part-time?
We've been traveling full-time since last April. We don't have a house at all. Gave up my house that I rented, sold everything. I have a storage unit with some stuff in it. But yeah, we're full-time traveling for now. Hoping to find somewhere one day where I just arrive and go, this is it. My daughter really wants to settle. She wants to be somewhere cold. She's weird. So that's not going to work for me, but I will settle. I'm happy to do that. But yeah, it's going to have to be somewhere warm for me. How about you?
So you're looking to set up a home base? Is that what you're looking to do for your daughter?
Eventually, yeah. I posted yesterday on my Facebook actually about community, because ideally I'd like to be somewhere and create my own sort of community, or get involved with some sort of community, especially with other world scholars, that kind of thing. That's something I'd really like to do. I don't really want to go back to normal society. That's for sure.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, I've been full-time traveling with my kids. We actually started last August. And I sold, like you, I sold everything. We're just living out of a suitcase right now, a suitcase each. But we stay in one place for about 2 to 3 months, but Medellin's the outlier. We've been here 5 months because I love it. So, but we're about to head on to another location, but we just like hopping around until we find some place that feels like a home base for us that we can settle into.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think before I started traveling, I booked everything, and I didn't realize that traveling really fast is just so exhausting. If I could do it again now, I would have just booked one flight and then just chilled and just done it at my own pace. But I was like, I'm booking around the world flights so that I know my flights are all paid for, don't have to stress. But then it was like so fast. Like, I went across the whole of the US in 2 months, from Boston all the way to LA, and it was hard going. Like, I was almost dead by the time I got to Hawaii. It was majorly stressful. So yeah, I like the sound of what you do, the sort of 2 months in one place. That sounds a lot better. So how many kids do you have, and how old are they?
So I actually have I have twins that are 9 years old. So I have a boy and a girl. What about you?
My daughter's 9 as well.
Oh, cool.
When's their birthday?
December 15th. What about yours?
Oh, okay. She's August
Oh,
17th. So yeah, we were in Disneyland for her birthday this year, which was pretty cool. In
oh,
Florida, it was boiling hot. It
oh,
was
yeah,
crazy.
yes. Especially in August, yeah, I can understand that. So,
Yeah.
so how do you educate your kids? Well, your kid, sorry.
So yeah, just one. So I mean, to be honest, she was in school up until April last year. The last year we've done it pretty chilled, more like unschooling, world schooling. This year's just been a bit of an adventure, and it's been an education in itself. So I've kind of looked at it as like almost like a year out. I mean, we do keep up with maths. She's done like quite a few maths books while we've been traveling, and I try and get to read as much as possible. As I said, we were traveling so fast some of the time. We were just literally exhausted, like drained all the time. And it's really tough to get into that routine when you move into a new place every like 3-4 days. It's crazy. So when we've stayed like longer, like a month in the place, we'll get into a bit of a better routine, and then we'll move again, and then we'll be traveling like really fast. And then it all falls apart, and then it goes back together. So I think I'd say the last year it's been more about the experience and like learning about the countries when we're in them. Like today we went to Pembroke Castle in Wales, and she absolutely loved learning about like the history of the castle and all that sort of stuff. And she's quite like, when she's involved in something, she learns like a lot better. So I found that anyway. And plus, like with computer games, even though they're like, I know they're obviously bad, she writes a lot in her games, and she actually has come on so well with spelling and reading just because of like writing to like she talks to like her friends on games and stuff like that. So yeah, this year's been a bit chilled, but I'm hoping at some stage to get into like a forest school or like a community school thing with maybe like other world schooling families. That's sort of back to the finding that perfect community that I'm looking for. I'm not sure quite where it is yet. How about you? How do you guys get on with schooling and stuff?
Sure. So we world school as well. My kids actually do an online homeschooling program. So it's
Oh,
self-paced,
cool.
which is
Yeah,
great for my kids because they both have learning disabilities. My son has autism, and then my daughter has ADHD. So they learn at different pace. So I thought me
yeah,
teaching them would be a disaster. So they're
yeah.
doing online homeschooling, and it's been great. Their grades are A's and B's just using that program. And they
Wow,
also
that's so
do,
good.
yeah, so it's been great, and there's no crying whatsoever with them, so it's awesome. So they do it for an hour a day, and they do 15 minutes of reading. Um, and in addition to that, some days they'll do a math game online. I let them play games too because that's their interest. So gotta
Yeah.
get the education how you can. And like your daughter, my kids play Roblox, so they're typing to friends all
She's
the
on
time.
Roblox. Love
Yeah.
it.
So I'm letting them play that, but they're also typing and they're learning to spell words and they're communicating
Yeah.
how they need to. So like it's helping. And then also we go out into the community and learn stuff. They have a nanny that comes and she only speaks to them only in Spanish. So they're forced to learn Spanish hands on.
Amazing. That's
So
so good. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
why I'm desperate to come to Central America, because I really want her to learn Spanish.
yes, and Colombia is supposedly the easiest place to learn Spanish because it's more easygoing and you can actually understand what people are saying here. So it's been
Oh, really?
really helpful. And I've learned that too when I go out and volunteer. That's how I've been learning Spanish too. But it's like I said, this been the world schooling has been so beneficial to both of my kids with their disabilities.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, how do your kids feel about the traveling then? Do they enjoy the travel life?
Yes, they love it. Especially going through the airport. They've become whizzes. So like when we go through like airport security, they already know what to pull out from the book bag. Like, yep, my tablet, my laptop, get it all out and get it all
Yeah,
organized.
no, need like
Yeah, so it's like been really cool. And they already know that they hand their passport to airport security with their ticket. So it's been awesome. They love it. And they just love being away from the States and seeing new places, trying new foods, because that's what travel is all about too. With my kids, where's the food? Where's the food?
Yeah.
So they love it. But
Nice.
how about your daughter?
Yeah, she's not so keen on it, to be honest. She likes cold countries. And I to any cold, I've took her to like Texas, Hawaii, Australia. She liked New Zealand because it was cold. But yeah, she's not a fan of hot weather. Like
Wow.
she'll swim it all day. Like she'll be in the pool all day, and she'll be happy if she's in the pool. But if you're having a day where you just walk in or go in somewhere, and she's not submerged in water. She doesn't like the hot weather. And yeah, and she has missed family and friends as well. So that's a shame because, I really wanted her to enjoy it. But then in the moment, like obviously doing certain activities, she has an amazing time. Like she loves being in the sea. She loves swimming. She got to see elephants and stuff in Thailand, which she loved. We got to swim with turtles. So if you actually ask her, what moments have you enjoyed, she can tell you loads of moments. But I think the whole traveling, and I think the fast traveling, which I didn't realise how draining it would be. I think she struggled with that a little bit. And I think definitely if I could do it again, I would just slow down and just chilled a lot more, definitely.
Yeah, we've been doing the slow traveling, and I think that's helped my kids like appreciate traveling and learning to love it as well.
Yeah.
So let's get on to the money issues. So how do you fund your travels?
So as I mentioned, I do have I have 2 online businesses now actually. But before I started traveling, so I was working in marketing jobs previously, and then I started freelancing as a social media manager. So I was working from home, but none of my clients were really local. Everyone was sort of around the country, and I just thought, well, they don't care where I am. They don't know where I am. So I started traveling while I was freelancing. Then about 6 months after I started traveling, I decided that freelancing was too time consuming in the sense of you have to physically do all the work, find other clients, everything's on you. And if I wanted to be, I wanted to enjoy my experience, I needed really to have an agency. So I founded my agency, which is called Feed Me Social. So I now have like people who work with me, they're all freelancers. I also have someone in sales. So it's me and my sales girl who sort of find the clients, and then the other people do the work. So it's a much more scalable model for me now. So it means that I can, have more time to actually enjoy life. Well, in theory, at the moment, we're just getting started. So it's actually really time consuming. But in 6 months or a year, it's going to be much more profitable, more scalable sort of business. And I also coach women who want to start businesses, so online businesses, so they can travel. And my membership club and coaching is called the Dream Club. So those are my 2 forms of income. How about you? How do you fund yours?
Well, currently I'm in graduate school, so I'm using the scholarship money that I'm getting to fund my travels. And then since I'm disabled, so in the United States we have Social Security, so I get Social Security disability, and so that helps fund our travels too. So until I finish my graduate school and go on to PhD and all that, until I find a career path that's right for me, then I'm just going to get Social Security disability until then. And sometimes I do freelancing like on Upwork, just little things to do. So I've gotten a few clients that way, but that's the multiple streams of income that's like necessary when you're full-time traveling. So like if one goes down, you have another one to fall back on.
Yeah. So what are you studying?
I'm studying right now, getting a master's in peace and conflict studies.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so managing is perfect for it.
Yeah, nice. So whereabouts have you traveled then? Where have you been?
So with just my kids, we took a Disney cruise and did Mexico. We've actually stayed in Mexico for 2.5 months, and now we're in Colombia. But by myself, I've traveled to Germany, Japan, Hawaii, even though that's not, it's still within the States. But, and then also I've traveled to Cape Town, South Africa. So that Cape Town, I can't wait to go back and take my kids, and especially Japan. Can't wait to go back there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, when we started out in April last year, we went to Spain for 6 weeks. We went to Mallorca and then Madrid, doing work away, which is one of the other ways that I can fund my journey as well, because we do quite a bit of work away. So stay with families and help them with something, so they get free accommodation. So that's one of the ways I keep my costs low. And then after that, we went back to England for a little while, and then we flew to Boston and traveled across the US for 2 months. So I went to Boston, New York, Washington, Philadelphia, Florida, Texas, LA, Hawaii, which was amazing. Hawaii was so beautiful. I loved it there. And then we went to Sydney, and then Brisbane, and then New Zealand, and then Thailand. And then on the way back from Thailand, we went to Dubai. And now we're back in the UK. Well, we're in Wales now. So yeah, England and Wales as well.
Well, yeah. So you did all of that between April and February?
Yes. This is what I mean. It's crazy. Like when I first started out, I didn't know really like about slow travel. Like I'd never really heard of slow travel. Obviously now knowing loads of other world schoolers and stuff and long-time travelers, I know about it. But we were literally doing like 3 days in Boston, 3 days in New York, 3 days in Washington, 2 days in Philadelphia. It was like I thought I was gonna, honestly, it was crazy. It's so much hard work. People don't realize how hard it is to actually travel that quickly.
Yes.
And if I could go back, I definitely would have done it differently.
So do you think the slow traveling would be better for your daughter to appreciate travel?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we would have been able to do it in the US, because obviously those places are all really expensive.
Yes.
So I probably wouldn't have been able to spend like 2 months in New York or whatever. But yeah, if I'd have known how it would impact both of us, because it stressed me out a lot as well and tired me out a lot. And if I'd have known how it would have impacted on both of us, I probably would have changed my plans and maybe just gone somewhere cheap and just spent a few months just chilling there, rather than this like fast journey. But hindsight's a great thing, isn't it?
Yes. So you're talking about work away. I've heard about that amongst world schoolers, but I've never actually done it. Like, what was your experience with using that?
So I've done 4 workaways. The first one was a complete disaster.
Oh.
I got there and I was supposed to be helping her with marketing. She didn't even have a website. So then she was asking me to like clean the house, and I was like, well, it's not really what I signed up for, but you know, I was going to contribute anyway. I was going to like cook and, you know, do washing. She was a single mum with 2 kids as well. But then there was loads of other issues, like she wouldn't use salt or pepper. I had to bake boiled vegetables and boiled rice every day. She wouldn't use any seasoning. She thought the Wi-Fi was going to kill you in your sleep if you left it on at night. So she was like turning off the Wi-Fi at like 8 o'clock. Obviously, when I work, I need the Wi-Fi. So yeah, it was just, there was loads of things. Anyway, we escaped from there, went to stay with a friend who luckily lived in New York as well. And then we went to another workaway in Madrid, which was absolutely amazing. She was a single mum with 4 kids. They were all older, they were like teenagers. And basically she just wanted me to talk to them in English and help with a bit of housework. So I was like cooking every day for the family. And then speaking to the kids in English so they could improve their English. And it was just the best 3 weeks ever. Like, we felt like we were one family. It was amazing. She was lovely. Her kids were lovely. Niney loved all the older, having older brothers. It was great. Cool. And then I went to one in Harvey Bay near Brisbane. Single dad with 4 kids, which was crazy because they were all young. They were between 12 and 8. And then obviously my daughter's 9. So it was like intense, and that was quite hard work. I was basically like a housewife for a month. Oh wow! But that was fine, you know. He was nice. He was lovely, and the kids would test me like little boys. They're like, we push this woman, like what's she like? So that was kind of hard, but kind of like a challenge as well, kind of fun. So yeah, I just basically cooked washing, just like being just being a mum basically, but with 5 children instead of 1.
No.
And then we went to one in New Zealand, and she had 2 kids, but she was pregnant, and so it was her and her husband. So it was baby born 2 days after we arrived. So I was there to help out with the other 2 kids while she was obviously, adjusting to being a mum for the 3rd time. So I was like taking the kids to school, like taking them to their swimming lessons, cooking, and just generally helping out around the house. So yeah, but I mean, you can do stuff like DIY, you can do gardening, you can do, just helping out around the house. You can do stuff with a business like social media marketing, website. So whatever your skill is, generally there's someone take you on, and I generally go for families. If you've got kids, apply to families, and then not only will it probably make you feel more comfortable, they're more likely to accept you if they've got kids, I think.
Oh, that's super cool. I've always wanted to try it, so that's really cool. So out of all your travels, what has been your favorite place?
I think I'd have to say Hawaii. I liked Thailand a lot, but I think I like my comforts a bit too much. And I liked that Hawaii was like island life, but with running hot water and comfortable beds. Thailand, like obviously you can do it in luxury, but if you're just staying in like basic accommodation, it can be like really basic. Like we stayed in places with no hot water. The bed was like wood. And then also just things like it's getting around. It can be a bit difficult, especially if you've got a suitcase. Sometimes the roads aren't right, or different things. So I did like Thailand, but I think I've decided I'm a bit too I don't know what the word is, fussy for Thailand. But my daughter loved New Zealand. That was her favourite place because it was cold and it was wet, and we stayed on a farm, and she likes mud and animals. So that was her ideal. I was like, give me a cocktail on the beach in Hawaii. And she's like, yeah, I just want to be in the mud in New Zealand. I'm like, how is this? I don't know how this is going to work between us, because we want
you guys like 2 different climates.
We really do. Like, it's kind of worrying. But yeah. So how about you? How was Mexico? Because I'm really looking forward to going there this year.
Sure. So we loved Guadalajara in Mexico. They have the best food and cuisine there. And so we went there from Guadalajara to Medellin, where the food quality of the food is not very flavorful.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's so bland. But
no way.
Yes, they don't use a lot of seasonings unless you go up to the coast to Cartagena, where it's more Caribbean vibes up there. Then you get the flavor.
No way! I'd never think that of Colombian food.
Yes, it's been interesting, but Guadalajara has actually been my kids' favorite place because of the food. They link everything with food. But it was a vibrant city. I loved it. The history there. And that's the kind of things I love. Finding history, architecture, buildings. I love that kind of stuff. I loved it for that perspective. My kids loved it for the food.
Nice.
Yeah, but I can understand why you love Hawaii. I loved living there, and if it wasn't so expensive to fly there, I would, or live there, I would totally.
Was that through the army?
I'm sorry?
Was that through the army that you lived there?
Yes, we were stationed at Schofield Barracks on the Big Island, so on Oahu.
Oh, okay.
Stationed there, and it was awesome. It was such an amazing experience.
Yeah, we went there. We went there because the couple we stayed with another world schooling family, and the dad, the husband, he was in the army. And then we went for this walk because there's like a big walk you can do up like a mountain, but you have to go into the barracks. And we've got some of the best photos that I've got from Hawaii in that barracks up this mountain, looking out onto the sea.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've done that as a kid, but I just don't have pictures of it.
Yeah, I'll have to show you the pictures I've got, because honestly, like, some of my best photos from Hawaii. But I've got all my best pictures are pretty much from Hawaii. To be
yes.
like amazing views. That's like my ideal place. Beautiful, hot,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
food, everything. I
Yes.
loved
And
it.
everyone's so warm and friendly. That's what I
So
love too.
friendly.
That Ohana
Yeah.
feeling. Even if you're a stranger, everyone's Ohana. It was a great feeling.
Yeah. Loved it. Yeah.
So
Moana land.
you're what?
Moana land.
Oh, Moana. Yes, Moana. I think that's why my daughter wants to go there, is because of Moana, the movie. She's like, I want to
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
It's a fun day. So what are some tips do you have? What tips do you have for traveling single moms?
Well, I would say definitely connect with other people while you're traveling. So I'm in loads of groups, world schooling groups, single mum travel groups, and post in there when you're going somewhere new, and you'll probably find other people that are there, or find friends and stuff like that. Because it can get lonely if you're just traveling. So like the first couple of months, the first month or so, we were just traveling, as I said, really quickly through America.
Yeah.
Just sightseeing, really, like New York, Washington. We were just sightseeing.
Yeah.
So it's you two together 24/7, no friends or family or anything, and it gets a bit intense. So I think definitely connect with other world schoolers, because then when we got to Texas, we stayed with the world schooling family, and it all changed from there. Texas, LA, and Hawaii, we stayed with world schooling families, and it's just that was just the best experiences. The coolest people, the people that get you, they're doing what you do, and they understand why. You don't have to explain your reasoning to anyone, because they're on your wavelength.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely connect with other like-minded people. I think that's probably my main tip for not going crazy. And then obviously I would say have an online business if you want to do it long term. Have an online business, create your income, mobile income, so that you can travel as much as you want. You don't have to worry about where you have to be or how you're going to earn money. So yeah, those would be my top tips, really. How about you?
Mine would be like you, find those groups online that you can connect with like-minded people. I think that's been beneficial for us too. And then also keeping connected with my kids' old school, their teacher, so I can check in with them and see if I'm doing things okay, just to make sure my kids are on the right path. So if I do ever put them in school, I know I know if they're on the right track for school wise. So
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's been helpful. She checks in with us, and it's been helpful. But like I said, the biggest benefit has been joining those expat groups, especially when we're moving to a new place. I find expat groups for that area. I ask questions. See if that's a great fit for us, and then if it's not, then I know to look on to a new country. Because that's how I found out. We were either going to go to Colombia or Ecuador, and I reached out to both groups, mentioned about my disability and such, and it seemed like Colombia was the best fit for accessibility wise. So just doing that ahead of time has been helpful.
Yeah, nice. So do you have any sort of safety tips for people single moms that are looking to travel?
Sure. So again, reach out to those expat groups to find the safe areas for living in. I think that's beneficial, especially for some place like Medellin. There's some areas that are not safe here, and so it was beneficial to reach out to those groups and find. So I knew where to look for the Airbnbs and such. Another safety tip. Well, if you're a single mom, have your custody papers with you when you're going through airport security, because that's been one thing that has popped up because people think I'm stealing my kids. So that's a safety tip. For us in the States, I always register with STEP, with the State Department, just to let them know that I'm here in this area. So if there are safety alerts, then I receive them via email. So if something's going on in the country that for U.S. citizens I need to be aware of, then I get those alerts. So that's been helpful as well. Yeah. What about you?
I think for me, our original sort of plan, the countries we were going to, I wasn't really too concerned about safety, because it was the US, Australia, New Zealand, and then Thailand. And Thailand maybe a bit, but it's so touristy, like everyone goes to Thailand. So I just kind of, I wasn't too concerned in advance about safety. I would say, you know, just use common sense. Like you get bad vibes about different areas or situations, so just trust your instincts. I think the only place I ever felt actually unsafe was probably in LA on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, which was probably one of the most sketchy places I've ever been. It was just like, it wasn't my favorite place, and it was so much dirtier than I imagined it to be. You know, you think Hollywood, you know, Walk of Fame, all these stars are going to be all shining on the ground, and they're like just like dirty, and there's just like loads of homeless people everywhere, and people selling drugs on the corner, and you're just like, what the hell? It was really sketchy. But yeah, so I don't think, I mean, like Sydney's super safe, like walk around there at night time on my own, like no concerns. New Zealand the same. Obviously, you know, in Thailand you just have to, be smart about things and just not go to areas that aren't touristy, I guess, really.
Yeah.
But most people in Thailand are pretty friendly, and you sort of go all over the place and everyone speaks to you. So yeah, I think my safety tips just like use common sense really, and just trust your instincts. I don't have to worry about the custody thing too much. We don't have any legal arrangement between me and Naine's dad. We never went to court or anything like that. So I just have a letter from him saying that she's okay to travel with me, but I've never been asked for it on this journey for the last year. No one's questioned me. We've got different surnames. No one's asked me anything. When she was little, when I went away somewhere, someone said to her, "Who's that you're traveling with?" At customs, and she just said, "My mum," and they were like, "Okay, it's fine," and that was it. But yeah, no one's asked me anything, and we've not even got the same names, and we don't even look the same. She could be anyone's kid, like literally.
Well, it's common in South America where they're asked for it. Like I've noticed it in South. When we came into Colombia, they asked me for it, and I heard that's prevalent here where they ask for it. So just a heads up, they do ask for it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I have a letter from her dad, but you know, there's no legal anything like to set. But we haven't got any legal agreement between us. Like we never went to court or anything, so I don't really know how that would work. But yeah, thanks. I'll have a look into that definitely before I do come over, because I might have to be careful with that. Yeah. So when you're traveling, how do you get alone time, grown-up time without your kids?
Well, it's hard because they want to be pinned to my side every single second of the day because they're not used to me being here. I would be at work and they would be at school or daycare, so they're not used to being around me 24/7. So it's been tough, but I have a sitter that comes on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. So I'll go up and volunteer up in the mountains here in Medellin. So I consider that my adult time. It's not the kind of adult time where I get to go out and drink like I would like to or to a movie, but it's still, I'm doing something for me. And I think that's so important. Yes, I love my kids, but I also need me time. It's so crucial so I can keep my sanity while on this journey. But what about you?
So I mean, I kind of based my travel plan around stopping off with family and people that I knew. So like I've got loads of family in Sydney, and you know, different places where I've got friends. So, and when I say with the world schooling family, actually in Texas, I went out with them, and my friend's mum babysat her kid and my kids, so we went out. And and then in Sydney, I've got my uncle, my auntie, my granddad, loads of people. So I went out a couple of times in Sydney, had a bit of freedom there. And then in Thailand, Naine's dad came over for a few weeks to have her in Thailand because he hadn't seen her. By that point, it was January then, so he hadn't seen her for about 7 or 8 months. So he came over for 3 weeks and had her then. So then I got a bit of time on my own. So it's more around, because like we're not really settled anywhere. We're kind of quick traveling. It's more about finding places and meeting up with people rather than having like a sitter or anything. We're not really anywhere long enough to sort of arrange that kind of thing. But yeah, so that's kind of how we've done it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's helpful while you travel. You're traveling to where you have friends and family. I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really good.
we don't have really anyone. It's just me and my kids, so it's kind of difficult. But that creates a great network for you too. So that's
Yeah,
really
well, that's why the World School and Families and Workaway have been great, because that's when I've got to be in a house with other grown-ups who I can have a conversation with after the kids go to bed. You know, even if I'm, they're not babysitting for me, but the kids go to bed and we can sit and have a glass of wine and talk like about normal stuff. So even though it's not like they're babysitting for me, it's still grown-up time, chill time, like away from kids without be sat on your phone. Because normally, like, if it's just me in a hotel room with Nine or whatever and she goes to sleep, then I'll sit and I'll talk to people on social media, but it's not the same as actually just chatting to people in real life, is it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea to do Workaway. So you got me leaning
Definitely.
to try it.
Get onto Workaway, definitely.
Yeah.
So how do you actually plan your travels then?
So the expat groups, especially the World Schooler group, I will reach out to them and I'll say which country or which continent we're on and get tips on that. But I don't plan ahead for my travels. So right now we're in Colombia. We've been here 5 months, and now I'm starting to plan where are we going next month. Like looking for finding different deals. Like which country is the cheapest to fly to from here,
Yes.
from Colombia. So that's how I sort of base our travels, is where's the cheapest.
Skyscanner for that?
Yes, I use Skyscanner and Momondo. I think I'm saying that right, Momondo. And then I also do Google Flights, because Google Flights and Skyscanner, you can do you can search everywhere to see what's the closest, and I like that feature.
I did a tutorial on that on my YouTube channel like 2 days ago, and it's had like loads of views already. Like loads of people have said that's amazing. So yeah, I do that search everywhere and then figure out where you're going to go. So yeah, if anyone wants to check out that video on my YouTube channel, it's how to get crazy cheap flights on Skyscanner.
Yeah, I'll check that out too, because it's always great how to find those deals and everything. So I'll find like cheap flights, but that's not just it. You have to find like the cheapest housing, cheapest Airbnb, cheapest economy that your money will stretch further. So yeah, the flights may be cheap, but living there could be super expensive. So that's how I kind of justify, is it worth it flying there or not? And then so I do it like that. And again, getting input from world schoolers, like, yes, don't go there, no, don't go there. Especially for expat groups that are for people of color, I reach out to them as well. Is this a safe place for us? Have you had any adversity here or anything? And I think that's another research aspect I have to think about for me and my kids while traveling.
Yeah, I would never even think about that, but I can kind of blend in pretty much everywhere. Like most countries where I go, people think I'm local. Like when I was in the US, people kept walking up to me and speaking Spanish. And I was like, no idea what you're saying. They think I'm Mexican or something. So yeah, that's an interesting one. I'd never thought about that. But after your experience today, that's like definitely something that needs to be considered, isn't it?
Yes, I have to start considering that, because I think, I have a US passport, I can really go anywhere. No, I can't. And so it's just something in the back of the front of my mind, I really need to be cognizant and aware of.
I mean, I think I've very, very rarely experienced racism in my life. I think Europe is probably different to maybe South America. So I would say maybe Europe would be a good place for you. I've not experienced it really ever in my life. I think maybe someone said something once or twice, but nothing. No one's ever really done anything to me, or it's never really been a big thing for me. So maybe that's just luck, or maybe the places I've been. But yeah. So for me, planning my travels, I mean, I did a bit of that at the beginning when I first went to Spain. It was because I went on Skyscanner and I found a flight to Mallorca for £15. And I was like, I'm buying that flight and I'm going. And then I found a workaway there. So that's how I do it, like you were saying about finding the flight and the accommodation. So I'll find a place that's cheap to fly to, and then I'll find a workaway there, and then I'll apply for loads of workaways in that place, and then I'll get the flight for £15-20, and then I'll stay for free for a month.
Yeah.
It's like absolute winner.
That's so smart. That's a smart way to travel.
Yeah, so we did that. So for the 6 weeks we were in Mallorca and Madrid, we didn't pay for accommodation or food. Paid for a bit of food because Nine's with me. Obviously, she doesn't work, so I'd pay for like a certain amount of food towards her sort of thing. And then I had this idea in my head about a road trip across America. So I booked this one, and then I found a one-way ticket to Boston for £150. So I was like, booking that. So then we flew to Boston, and the idea was to do a road trip across America. But then when I got there, I was like, to hire a car and drive it from one place to another, they were going to charge me like thousands and thousands extra because you're leaving the state. So I was like, okay, this isn't possible. So then I had to like adjust, and we got trains, a Greyhound bus, which was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life.
Yes. Been there.
Yeah, it was awful. And then we flew a bit as well. So that was kind of like, I knew I had to be in LA for a certain date because I had my flight then from LA. So then I booked like a round the world ticket, which was LA, Sydney to no, what was it? Yeah, LA to Sydney, LA to Hawaii, Hawaii to Sydney to Thailand. So then I booked that as like a chunk on a website called STA Travel, which is like a round the world ticket. So that worked out cheaper than doing it individually. And I knew I wanted to go to Australia because I've got family there, and it's one of the places that we always just go to every few years because we've got family there. So, and then I wanted to go to Thailand because my best friend lived there. So yeah, as I said, I base it kind of around people who I know in places, people I want to visit. And then Hawaii was just like, well, Hawaii is halfway between America and Australia, so who doesn't want to go to Hawaii? So it's kind of like, we just decided to go there. But that was a great decision. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of STA Travel, I use that a lot too because I'm still in graduate school, so I can get those cheaper student fares. And so
nice.
A lot. Yeah. So that's funny you mentioned it because I think they are based in the UK.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
So when you're planning your travels, do you get input from your child?
Well, when we first started, not really, because she didn't really know much about many places or where she wanted to go and stuff like that. And then, as I said, I kind of booked everything like as a chunk. So it was kind of like a bit late. By the time she was like, oh, I like this, I don't like that, it was kind of difficult to change stuff. And she likes to be cold, and I'm not going somewhere that I'm going to be cold. So that makes it a bit difficult. But yeah, I mean, I want to do more of Europe this summer, take her to some places around Europe because, I know she'll like enjoy that.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, I do try, but it's a bit difficult sometimes because we like completely different things.
Yeah, I understand. But I get input from my kids too. Like right now, they want to get out South America. They want to go to Europe. So I'm shortening my South America trips. We're just going to hit the hot spots here, but then we're going to go full blown into Europe because they're wanting to go there. So
when are you planning on getting here?
I'm thinking end of May or early June because I don't want to be there cold.
We'll be around. We'll be around, so maybe we can coordinate something and we'll come over and visit you wherever you are.
Okay, that would be great. So yeah, my daughter, so she can meet other kids because yeah, that's been the hardest part of traveling is meeting other kids while we're traveling.
Yeah, it is difficult. Yeah. But I mean, if it's places for longer, I guess it kind of, helps, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it does sometimes, but it's just the language barriers with my kids. They're kind of hard. But they're kids. They meet people or kids wherever we go. It's just they can't talk to them, and that's kind of the frustrating part for them.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So I think we might have answered this question a little bit. Really, how do you connect with others while you travel? I think we both said like through Facebook groups and stuff, didn't we?
Yes, yes. So like the World Schooler group I use, the Single Moms Who Travel group. Shout out to Amaya. But yeah, that's a really good group I use. And I've connected to a lot of single moms that way. And I think that that network has been helpful to know
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
not losing my mind.
Definitely, definitely, it's been awesome. But yeah, as well for me, I actually just post on like my normal Facebook when I'm going to places, and I've had a lot of people say, I've got a friend that lives there, you should meet them. And then gradually, as I've added more and more people to my Facebook from like different world schooling groups, when I post something now, I've got loads of people who say, oh, I know someone there, or this friend lives there, or, you know, and I get recommendations to like meet up with people. And obviously through the workaway that I do, I meet local families, which is, you know, a really nice way to live in a place in like an organic environment rather than like in a hotel or something like that. So that makes a big difference, I think.
Well, hotels are sometimes good. Like sometimes I just want to be spoiled and get away from my
Yes.
kids.
I mean, if it's a spa hotel, I'm not going to be complaining.
Yeah. So, why do you think other single moms should consider traveling long term?
Well, I would say like life living in a Western country as a single mom is like really hard, and you kind of get the crap stuff. Like you kind of get, you have to work, or if you don't work, then you're going to be like borderline poverty. So you either work and don't see your kids, or you live like, you know, skint all the time. Whereas if you travel, if you can create an online income, or if there's somewhere other way you can fund what you do, you can have a much better balance in life. So you can spend more time with your kids, you can spend more time enjoying life rather than constantly chasing money or stressing out or paying bills. Yeah, and I would absolutely recommend it to anyone. If you've got, you know, a bit of desire to make your life better as a single mom, and you know you're willing to put the work in, because like setting up an online business or an online income is never going to be easy,
Yeah.
definitely do it, because it will completely change your life. And you know, people can't comprehend actually not waking up every day feeling stressed out about money, having to do the school run, cleaning the house, paying the bills, all that crap. Imagine if you didn't have any of that, how
Yes.
good life would be.
So much simpler.
So much simpler.
Yes, but I totally understand you about the home life balance. There with my kids, there was never one. Like I would be
Yeah.
on, I would barely see my kids. I was mainly either on the road or working, and that's not a lifestyle I wanted for my kids. And it was just stressing all of us out. But and it's so expensive in the United States too, living there. So
Yeah.
it just didn't make any sense. So I'm using half the income from what I used to make as a federal employee, and we're living a great life. We're actually, we can travel and do stuff. We can have excursions, go out and spend time together, and it's just like on half the income. We're having a better quality of life. Like health care down here is so much, it's cheaper, and it's been more beneficial. And the doctors here are as great as they are in the United States. So it's just like, why not? Why not just do this lifestyle, spend half the money, but have a better quality of life and just have everyone find that happiness for themselves. But I so agree that that balance is so key, and
Yeah.
I've loved it.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy as well. Like, I don't even think about healthcare because we don't pay for it in the UK. So that's like a whole nother massive bill that you have to have if you're from the US. It's like, uh,
Yes.
I struggle to get my head around it. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nightmare, and I'm still paying healthcare bills from the United States, even though it was covered by insurance. So it's crazy, but I can get my medicine here for a fraction of the cost without having to go to the doctor first. So it's just, and my son's inhalers, I can get those cheaper down here, and it's been amazing, and I love it. I love this lifestyle, and I hope we can do this as long as we can, because I don't see
Yeah. So,
me going back to the States ever.
no, no. So, saying all that, how do you deal with people that say that you shouldn't be doing it? How do you deal with naysayers?
So I think of it this way: normalcy is different for everyone. Your normal may be being that soccer mom, driving your kids to and from school and doing all that, and having that lifestyle. For me, that's not my lifestyle. That's not the kind of lifestyle I want. I would say compare at how my kids were doing a year ago versus how they are now. They're happier. My son still has meltdowns, but they're less. So obviously something is going right. So this is a lifestyle that I chose for me and my kids, and it's been beneficial. So for naysayers, I say, don't knock it till you try it. You may end up loving it.
I think you're a bit more diplomatic than me.
I would say something else, but try to keep it PG.
I'm kind of more like, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
Your opinion. I'm not interested. Don't like it. That's fine. Don't talk to me about it. Like, to be honest, though, it's difficult because the biggest criticism I've had has been from my family. Like, most of my friends and other people around me have been really supportive. It's only my family that have really criticized me, and honestly, it's pointless arguing with them. So I just say, let's just not talk about it, because you're not going to change your opinion. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. So if we argue about it, it's just going to create bad vibes between us. So let's just not discuss it anymore. I think that's the best thing to do. People have said that I'm selfish, that I'm just doing it for me. It's all about me, all that kind of, I've had all of that from my family. So I think for me, it's more about just ignoring them, basically, ignoring that whole issue, because at the end of the day, they're not living my life. They don't know what I go through every day. They don't know why I've made those decisions. And no matter how much I try and justify my decisions to them, they've made their mind up about why I'm doing it. So I'll just let them have that opinion, and I'll just move on with my life.
Yeah. Peace out.
Pretty much.
Well, I dealt, while I was planning this and getting ready to leave the States, quitting my job, people were like, why are you leaving the safety of the United States? You're disabled. Why are you doing that? The best healthcare is here. Mexico isn't safe. There's cartel there. Colombia is not safe. There's cartels there. It's just like, stop watching the news. Stop watching the news. Yeah. Everything is not like it is on the news. Reach out to people and actually talk to them and find out how it is there. Go for yourself and travel there and see how it is. But I think, as I've been posting on Instagram and on my personal Facebook page about our travels, a lot of people are seeing, especially people that were naysayers to me, are saying, oh, things are working out. This is so cool. And now they're wanting to come here to these places I've been because of the pictures and the stories.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'm like, you can change people's minds, and you just got to go into things open-minded. And that's how I'm trying to do things. Be open-minded.
I don't think I'll change my family's mind until Naini is like 25 and she's actually got a job or got her own business, because they just think that I'm screwing up her future. So I can't really prove anything until she's actually a grown-up. So it's going to be a long game for me. But I did get quite a lot of people asking me if I wasn't scared about traveling, but they weren't really criticizing me. They were just saying that I was brave and stuff. And I just thought, well, it's not really that scary. I think if you've traveled from a young age like we did, you don't think of the world as being a scary place because you've been there and you know that most people are nice. Like, even when I was going to Dubai, I had a stopover in Dubai and everyone was like, oh my God, be careful. They hate women. It was like, I got there and I was like, it's absolutely fine. It's actually really, really nice. I absolutely loved it. I think people read this article or they see that video or they watch that on the news and they decide that a whole country is like that because of one thing. And I think, that's definitely something that I've seen. But, most people have been just, they just don't know. So, it's the same thing. They sort of see that you've been to these places and they realize it's possible, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that's great what we're doing. We're changing people's minds by showing our pictures, telling our stories, and I think that's important. Getting these stories out there so more single moms travel, more people travel either independently or whatnot, and go to these countries. I think social media has helped open a lot of people's minds. They're not just looking what's on
Completely, yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Wow, I can't believe how long we've talked for. I think we've talked for like an hour.
Yeah.
That's
It's been
crazy.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really nice talking to you and hearing your story and your take on everything.
Yours too. Yeah. And
Do
we'll
you want to just tell everyone your handle? Do you have like social media handles and stuff like that?
sure. So on Instagram, we're at Mixed Trio Travels. And I also have a blog at www.mixedtriotravels.com. And we're on Facebook too at the same handle, and same thing on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. It's Mixed Trio Travels.
Cool, yeah. So my handle on everything is at mum, M-U-M, not M-O-M, M-U-M biz travel. So yeah, mum biz travel on all social media. And yeah, Chanel Morales, the digital nomad mum on YouTube, but you can find me with my handle. They're all the same. So yeah.
Well, it's been so great talking with you. And when we go to Europe, we would definitely connect and meet in person.
Let me know when you arrive or when you're going to be around, and we'll try and coordinate something, because I'm in Italy and Turkey May, June, but then April, May, but then June,
awesome.
July, August, we've not got set plans yet. So yeah, if you can coordinate something, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then we could do one in person together, a video. That would be great.
With cocktails.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.